Hi, welcome back to Ahead of the Curve. I'm your host, Dr. Megan Teed, and I'm here today with Kerry Green for another fun combo.
Hi, Meg. I'm excited for whatever chapter this is. No idea.
I think it's seven.
I think it's 7. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds right.
I'm talking to everybody from my phone today because my computer decided that has no more storage and didn't give me any heads up. So hopefully the video quality is okay for you guys and sound quality. Thank you, Joe, for working wonders and editing all these videos to make them sound better. Um,
Thank you,
s-
Joe.
yeah, Joe.
Uh,
So what's been new, Carrie, since the last time we talked to you?
well, my brain today is scrambled eggs because I'm in the middle of moving. So
Well,
I've
that's
got a
right.
date with some boxes after this.
Oh, so are you doing like a slow progressive move or are you just getting everything ready and going all at one time?
All at one time. I mean, the building is next door, so I will probably, do that thing where I try to, like, sneak some things over,
Yeah.
but I like to get it all done in one day. I'm very crazy about that.
Yeah. I'm the
Yeah.
same way. Like if it's just like I've done the slow move when I moved from my apartment to my house, which was also like across the street. But and that's why it was so slow because I'm like, oh well, I have like a month to get out of here and just taking my time. It was the worst.
Isn't
So
it, like, more frustrating when it's across the street? I can't believe I have to pay for a truck to pack up a truck to drive from one parking garage to another one. Like,
Oh,
literally driving from one it's just
yeah. Yeah, I actually did my move by myself, so maybe that's why I was so slow. This was
Oh, what?
before
How
I was married. Yeah, yeah.
who moved your furniture?
Um, who did help
You're
me?
like, "I did it myself."
No, I didn't do that myself. I think my friend's husband helped me.
Oh, okay.
He helped me. Yeah, I can't remember. They're probably listening to this and be like, "You jerk."
The jerk. Never helping you again.
Yeah, but gosh, yeah, that is like enough deterrent to never move again.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate it.
And what's new with you?
Let's see. So I started a new workout program, which I'm really enjoying.
I wanted to ask
Uh,
you about that. Is that what you've been posting in the gym?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I've been doing something called functional patterns, and I was hesitant to do it honestly because I am not a fan of their marketing
Mhm.
strategies. They just basically crap on every other type of movement profession there is out there, and they're like, "We're the best." So that rubs me the wrong way because they I know that there's definitely more than one way to address pain, address movement. Um, but actually, a past client of mine, she started doing it and was getting like, she's like, my back feels really good. And um, I was looking for something a little different. Like, I'm trying to switch up my routine since Nico passed away, like, just trying to like be in a different environment. Nico's my dog, if you don't know
Mhm.
who that is. Because he was just, like, with me all the time, and, like, I loved doing Peloton and at-home workouts because of that, because I wanna just always be spending more time with him, but, I'm just trying to switch up my routine a little bit and do some different things, and I just find that, like, this has been, like, a really good outlet for my grief, because you're, like, throwing and slamming, like, medicine balls and kind of punching using weights and using like a mace to basically it's trying to strengthen spiral lines in your body and it's been really interesting for me just noticing how my one spiral line, which is in my curve, feeding my
Mhm.
curve, I'm so strong within that spiral line. But then when I'm trying to move out of it in the other opposite spiral line, it's like, holy smokes, I have no strength that direction.
Yeah. That's so
So,
interesting. And does your brain have a harder time too, like, concentrating when you go in different directions? I'm curious.
a little bit like, um, I grew up dancing
Oh,
ballet, so I find it easy to pick up for the most part as far as like, movements and opposition and things like that. Like it feels like choreography to me, dance choreography.
mhm, mhm.
Um, but then the movements with the mace, I'm like completely clueless as to what's
Okay.
going on. The coach that I'm working with, the poor guy, he's so patient, but I'm like, he goes very slowly through it with me, and I think I get it down, and then when I go to do it myself, I'm, like, about to hit myself in the head with the
Oh,
mace.
wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so interested in this. Do you
Yeah.
'Cause I've been eyeing it, like, I always see
Mhm.
their, ads, but do you feel like with this I know you're gonna say yes. I know you're gonna say yes, but with a fusion, could you do
Mhm.
this?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. So I think working with actually, the coach probably lives very close to you. He's based out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale
Oh,
area.
okay. I looked it up. So you're doing it online with him, obviously. I
Nah.
just saw him online because I was like, I want to go in person, but I don't want to go to Miami. It's too far.
Oh, yeah. So you
Yeah.
should try so I'm in a small I don't want my small group to blow up.
Yeah.
But, I do like a small group coaching with him, and he does 3 class times a day, and, 3 days a week, it's, like, dynamic strengthening, 2 days a week, it's, like, more corrective, so it's, like, just,
Mhm.
like, very focused, like, smaller muscle group strengthening. And then 1 day a week, it's release work. So, like myofascial release. Um, so, yeah, it's like one set price for unlimited, and it's been really good. So, um, definitely, like if you're somebody who has like a lot of pain, I would probably not jump into something like
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
until your pain levels have stabilized quite a bit.
Mhm.
Um, and it helps to have experience with movement. So, like, if you're not experienced with movement and you jump into something like this, you're probably going to be pretty
You're
lost.
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
overwhelmed. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm excited. I like to do everything that you do, so I'm gonna sign up. I'm
Yeah.
signing up. I'm signing up.
I'll send you the details.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's been really good, and I also think the rotational, like, I've been having, like, a very hard time with my grief. I pretty much ugly cried every day for a whole
Mhm.
month, and, um, you know, you find and you know this with the work that you do, but for me, I just couldn't get over how difficult it was for me when it was at its worst, where like for me to stand up straight.
Okay.
I just felt like this big weight on me, and you fall into a protection pattern where you're just like, kind of
Mhm.
pulling forward and guarding your heart and your lungs. You hold a lot of grief in your lungs and your liver. So it's just been interesting for me on
Yeah.
this side of things to go through it, and feel the rotation increase in my curve, and
Mhm.
um, yeah, and just kind
Okay.
of be slowly working my way out of it. Obviously, it takes time, but
Yeah. I can relate to that. So, like, I had grief when my dad passed away, and sometimes I have like waves of it still. That was years ago. Or if I
Mm.
have even like any other like trauma trigger, you can kind of feel your spine like twisting.
Mhm.
It's crazy. Like you can feel it happening. You're like, I did
Yeah.
not feel like this like an hour ago, and now I'm like sinking into it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
really hard. You have to really like, double down on untwisting, really, like letting go of that tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, just moving the opposite way. My my good friend who's a neighbor, she, is actually, like, a breathing coach, like, she's done, like, a lot of training in, scientific breath training and breath work. And she brought over like a big dowel and
Mhm.
she's like, whenever you're feeling like that weight of your grief, like hold on to the dowel and do
Oh,
basically like arm
open.
circles to open up your chest
Mhm.
and open up your heart. And
Yeah.
that was really helpful. And doing this exercise
Yeah.
that I've been doing the functional patterns has been really helpful as well, just kind of working and moving my way through it. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
definitely being stationary and static and like sitting in it is
Not good.
not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. There was one of the exercises that you showed me a long time ago. So I've been feeling a little overwhelmed and triggered from like moving. So I've felt
Yeah.
myself sink into this, and I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do? I tried. One time you showed me like laying over a ball. So you put the
Mhm.
Pilates ball and you lay your body over it on the side. And I recently told you my manual therapist like had me do this too. And
Uh-huh.
I was so scared to do it because, like, they tell you, like, don't do anything like that with the fusion, but I was like, "I'm gonna do it and just try to relax my body," and I could feel everything just, like, letting go, just, like, expanding and breathing into my
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
and I did it on
That's
both sides. Yeah, it helped so much.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. You use like a small squishy ball.
yeah, like, I had, like, a deflated Pilates ball. But
Mhm.
it's a similar thing to the Tao because you're opening up your ribs and, like, expanding,
Mhm.
whereas before, just sitting like this, like, in my sessions, like yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
depending on where you have the ball, if it's up near the rib cage, you're mobilizing not only the ribs, but you're mobilizing the lungs and
Mhm.
the viscera, the organs that live below that. And then when you have it a little bit lower, if it's on the right hand side, you're mobilizing the liver, which is as big as a football. It's huge.
Oh, really?
Yes,
That big?
it's that big, like, your liver runs fr oops, no, I can't move this. Your liver runs from, like, you're three-dimensional. It
Mhm.
runs from the back right of your rib cage, and it runs the whole way across the front to your left nipple line. So,
Wow, that sucker is huge.
it's huge. So, if your liver
I know
isn't
that.
moving well, you can imagine how that affects pain levels
Yeah.
and the way that you're feeling. It's like if your shirt gets kind of like twisted up and it's
Mhm.
pulling you that direction. It's the same thing with your organs and the fascia that surround your organs.
I never knew
So,
that. Wow, that's wild.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So somebody had asked us a question, and this kind of like this reminds me of that going through grief or trauma trigger or anxiety. Like, how does that impact your curve? And it's kind of like we're saying. I think that has a lot to do with it. You go into like a
Exactly.
protective mode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I do feel scoliosis has a ginormous emotional component to it.
Mhm.
Um, when I'm anxious, when I'm angry, when I'm tense, when I'm grieving, I just feel the rotation increase and myself kind of collapse into my curve and tighten up into my curve.
Yeah.
I find when I'm more relaxed and regulated.
You're not like that word?
I don't know. I feel like it's so overused.
Mm. Really overused now.
It is.
Yeah.
But when I feel like I'm in a good space, like my body's nourished emotionally, I'm balanced. I feel much less rotated
Mhm.
in my
Yeah.
body. So
Well, if you're in sympathetic fight or flight, which is where we get anxious, then your muscles would become really tense to have to run or fight the bear.
yeah.
But what is really interesting, which I haven't figured out, is that when I personally go into dorsal vagal, more of like a shutdown, which people can think is anxiety, but it's not because you get intrusive thoughts. I found that my pain and curve gets the worst there. And I don't know why exactly, but it might be because your nervous system thinks you're dying and needs to like basically play dead, which would make your body feel like frozen. And
Yeah.
that might be like the most extreme form of tension. That's what I would think of there.
Yeah. So
Like
so the
if you have to play dead and you're like frozen, then I mean, probably would activate like every part of your curve.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everything is engaging instead of, or maybe the more rotated portions and the tighter portions are engaging and the
Mm,
other ones are just
yeah,
sleepy.
that could be, yeah.
So that's why it's pulling you further and further. Because if you're fully engaging in a balanced way, then that would kind of align align you a little bit
Yeah.
better. But yeah, because it's pulling you more into your curve. I would imagine like the tighter portions are just engaging and pulling you and drawing you further into that.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. And the neurons are like firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. So my recommendation would be, I mean, the same thing as what I was saying. I'm doing is doing a balance of vigorous movement, where you're getting that energy out, you're strengthening in a balanced way, and then also having restorative work,
Yeah.
using the breathing over the balls and doing some of your three-dimensional breathing with your wedges. Those are all really good things to get out of that
Yeah.
rotation and that curve.
Yeah, and there's one move that will help everyone, which they can't see me unless you're watching this on YouTube, but I talk about it every time, is the butterfly, which
Mhm.
is where you basically like clench your arms in front of your face and then you fling your arms open and you're like opening your chest. And then you're doing that like repeatedly. So you're kind of opening your heart and
Mhm.
that will get rid of a lot of that tension. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. Somebody mentioned that that really helped them. They listened to one of the past ones that
Oh,
you
really?
mentioned that. Yeah. And
That's
they started
fun.
out, they're like, I was like trying to figure out what that butterfly
What is
exercise
she
was. I had
talking
to watch
about?
the YouTubes to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, if you guys go on my page, I have, like, plenty of videos where I'm doing that one because it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, I did something new for the first time ever, and I have a question for you about it.
Okay.
So, I did conquer another fear, and I went to my first Pilates class on a reformer. It was nothing hard, it was super easy.
Mhm.
But my question is, do you pad on the reformer?
Got it.
I brought it and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I should, like, do I use it?" I got scared. I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I recommend bringing them and using them if you feel confident with where you should be padding.
Mhm.
Now, I recommend not using like with bridges and stuff, like taking them out for the bridges because they'll just kind of move around
Mm,
anyway. So that's up to you to kind of make sure that you're staying balanced with the bridging. Um, and then if you do any side lying, I would recommend trying to pad there too.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Did you feel like you would have been able to if you wanted to? Like did you
Yeah.
feel like you had
Mhm.
enough time to put them in and take them out and
I feel like this one, because they make you do like a phase of beginner classes.
uh-huh.
I was in like the kindergarten class basically. They're like explaining the machine, and they just kind of show you like each move. So TBD on if I can do it properly if it's like a faster paced class.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did have this feeling of wanting to.
Mhm.
I could feel myself like I don't do this anymore kind of thing. Like I always have my pad. Like it doesn't feel as good now without it.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Um, yeah, I recommend it as long as you feel comfortable with it.
Mhm.
And then also feeling comfortable with having a conversation with your instructor about it too, because
Yeah.
they'll definitely have lots of questions, I'm sure.
That's what they told me. They said tell each instructor,
Mhm.
when you go. Um, so is there anything that when you teach your classes on the reformer, is there anything that you don't do with scoliosis on there, or is it all pretty much?
Yeah, there's a few things. I recommend not doing like the rollovers, and they
Yeah.
probably won't do. Are you doing like you're not doing club Pilates? Are you doing club Pilates?
Pilates, yeah.
Oh, it is. They won't do it anyway.
Okay.
They actually like the rules within club Pilates. Actually, like cut out a lot of the exercises that are questionable for scoliosis and spinal
Okay.
fusion. So
Well, that's wonderful.
yeah,
Good,
yeah.
excellent. I'm in the right place then. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah. So some ones that I would use caution with would be um they do this on short box and on the ladder barrel. It's like you're seated and you do a side bend with
Mhm.
rotation.
Mhm.
The combination of those together tend to be something that I would stay away from. So, like, either doing one or the other,
Like the
doing, like, the side
gentle.
bends,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
making sure you're focusing on the elongation and not collapsing into the bottom side of the waist,
Mhm.
uh, or just doing rotations independent of the 2 combined.
Right. That makes sense. Well, I'm super excited to be doing something new
Mhm.
as well. It's
Yeah.
definitely firing up some muscles that I do not use. I'm like, hello, calves and inner thighs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even like my feet, they make you like take your toes and you have to like grip onto the bar. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like it.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It really just brings awareness to every part of your body, which I love, and I
Mhm.
think is super powerful because especially with scoliosis, we are pretty disconnected from ourselves and from our body, and just to reconnect with all the different elements of the body is really effective.
True. So true, because we're always thinking about our spine.
Mhm.
And so we just forget that we have a whole other
Yeah.
body. We have a whole body. You guys, we have a whole full body. We're not just a spine. There is more to focus
I think
on.
that could be, like, the end of the podcast,
Yeah,
like,
seriously, that's it.
you're a whole person,
We
like,
are a person. Yeah. Yeah.
you're not just a curvy spine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, how's your, gua sha going?
Okay. That's going. And I have one more thing to tell you today. So I'm still doing that, which I love, and it's helping a lot with my like inflammation and stuff.
Uh,
But I discovered a new anti-aging product that is supposed to be the same or better than Botox. Have you heard of frownies?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I can do you one better.
Do me one better. No way. I really like them. Tell me what.
Okay. So frownies are actually really great if
Mhm.
you're short on time and you want something that's very simple to just put on. Um, with my ugly crying for a whole month, my face, like, wow, like just took a beating with that. So, I've been eyeing this girl who does facial taping
Okay.
for a while, and I'm like, it makes so much sense to me based off of the way I use it for muscles and pain and inflammation and swelling, other parts of the body, for orthopedic injuries.
Mhm.
Um, and she uses like a very similar kind of tape for the forehead. And the difference between using the kinesio tape versus the frownies is the kinesio tape actually like lifts the skin a little bit away from the fascia so that it helps to promote lymphatic drainage, and
Okay.
it's like it breathes a lot better than the
Mhm.
frownies.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's more time consuming because you have to cut the tape and, like,
It's more
bef
time consuming because frownies are really time consuming.
wait, are they really?
Yeah, so you have to make a cast. So they're
Oh.
like basically little triangles like the size of a quarter, right?
Uh-huh.
There's different shapes, but you have to wet it with this rose water and then you put one on and then you have to make a cast. So then you put another and another and you fill up your whole forehead. And you can also do the sides of your eyes and if you want you can do the sides of your mouth. So that's like kind of time consuming, but what takes even longer is getting it off because you have to get the water, number 1, to, like, penetrate it, and then also, like, a little bit under it to melt the glue, otherwise it feels like you're peeling, like, tape off of your skin, but I'm sure not that kinda tape, like, real tape.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay. I don't know why I thought it was, like, just this pre-made thing. I didn't realize you, like,
probably looks like that in the video 'cause
yeah.
she makes it look like it's all, like, one piece, but it's you're building a cast on your forehead.
Okay. Well, maybe it's less time consuming than
Yeah. That's awesome
but
though for the tape. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a very similar thing, like, she has different techniques that you can do. Her name's Catherine Romine, uh, on Instagram, and she's I don't know, is she a facial taping expert? Maybe? Something like that, but, Jill, if you can link that in the show notes, that'd be awesome. Um
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, but I've been using that because my face massage has gone kinda to the wayside. It's very time consuming.
Work.
30 minutes a day.
That's a lot. What? I
I
don't even
mean,
have 30 minutes.
no,
What are we talking about here?
I know. I'm, like, trying to squeeze in my walks, my elongations, my red
Yeah.
light, like, so many things. So, yeah,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
facial massage has been, put to the side quite a bit, but the taping has been good. Um, I do it probably, I don't know, 4 days a week.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. Hmm. Can you do it anywhere else or just on the
Yeah, yeah, so I've just been doing here. I tried this, like, for jowl, like, this one.
Mhm.
I don't think I got it quite right. It didn't really seem like it did anything. But
Didn't budge.
I feel like such a big difference with my forehead
Mhm.
because I have pretty deep
Mhm.
forehead lines and, like, uh, what do you call it, 11s? Because I'm always, like, looking at people on the screen too.
Yeah. Trying to see what their movement looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Honestly,
yeah.
running helps me the most with jowls. Like, I feel like a lot of times that really is like, we think it's like skin loosening, but it's fluid, right?
Yeah.
Inflammation. Yeah. I go on a run and I'm like, oh, there's my neck.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It really is. It's like tension in through the masseter, um, and then also just in through the neck as well, like your SCM gets
Mhm.
really tight, and then that kind of pulls all the tissue down this way. So
Yeah. All right. Anti-aging with Kelly and Meg.
I feel like we talk about that every
We
episode.
do. We're like concerned.
Yeah. Well, and somebody was giving me crap about it. They're like, "Why are you so worried about it?" I'm like, "I don't care about having wrinkles. Like, I just don't want to have like if there's something that I can do to age gracefully without putting toxins in my body, why not try it? Like,
Yeah.
what's the big deal?"
We also like to buy stuff. We like to buy stuff and we like to try stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a hobby.
Buy it and try it.
Buy it and try it.
Uh,
That's fun.
Right. Yeah. Well, do you have anything else?
No, thanks for sticking with it with your technical difficulties and
Yeah. I hopefully by the next time we do this, I will have an external hard drive. I have a sweet client who sent me a bunch of recommendations. So that will work with my Mac. I think that's a problem. Like a lot of times they are not compatible with
yeah,
Macs.
it's not. Mine, I had to buy like a adapter. So I'm like, so I just bought $100. I bought something else, but I had to because I ran out of memory as well. The hard drive, and then you gotta buy a whole freaking cord because it's a Mac.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 Can't wait.
Try to find one that just goes right into the Mac. I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Macs are jerks. They're like,
They are. I'm regretting it.
yeah. Oh well.
Keep us
Well,
posted.
well, thanks for tuning in and thanks for coming on again, Carrie.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, stay well and stay ahead of the curve.